Hello students, in this video we will learn list methods and functions that we can apply on the list. After watching this video, you will be able to understand what methods and functions you can apply on the list and how to use those methods and functions to solve the problems by writing programs. The first method we study is append. This method is used to add one object or value at the end of the list. So when you run this method, the object will be added at the end of the list. Here in this example, we have a list created that have 4 values, and the function lst.append has been called with the value 20,544. This value goes to the end of the list. When you call this list, you can see the result 20,544 is added in this list at the end. We have a list, we call append function. It adds the value provided in append function at the end of the list. With the append function, you added a value at the end of the list. Now, if you want to add the list not at the end but at some other positions, then what do? You use insert function, where you provide the value and the position where you want to enter. So this insert method is built-in method of list, and it inserts the value at the position you pass. So for example, if in the list method you passed 2 as the position where you want to insert 10,087, while the list earlier you had maths, chemistry, 1997, 2000, 1544, and their positions are for maths 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. That means you have called insert function with position 2. So 2 should come before 1997 and after chemistry. That means 1997, 2000 and 20,544 should move one place ahead, and 10,087 and 10,087 inserted at position 2, like this. Extend function. With the append function, you added one value at the end of the list. But now suppose you want to insert more than one value at a time to the list. What do? You call extend function. Extend function extends one list with the multiple values or the list provided. So here in this example, a list 1 is created, then list 2 is created. List 1 is created is 1, 2, 3. List 2 is 2, 3, 4, 5, and you call extend function on this list 1. So it is passed with list 2. This function adds elements of list 2 into list 1. So when you again run list 1, it returns a new list. It returns a list that has some more values 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these values came from list 2. Index method is used to get the occurrence of any object in the list. For example, if in this list you want to get the index, the position of any of the element in this list, you can call index. It will return the first occurrence of that value. This function is passed with 3 arguments: element, start, and method. Element you want to search for, start from the position you want to look, and add the position to the position you want to look. Here and is included. So if you want to look for 2, you just pass 2 in the index function called with the list. It gives you 1 because 2 is occurring at index 1 in this list, 0, 1. Now suppose if there is a question that find out the second occurrence of 2 in this list, what do? You just pass 2, and remember you got the first occurrence of 2 at position 1. That means the next occurrence of 2 will be after 1. So you can pass 2, start equal to 2, and end equal to 10. So this will be list.index 2, 2, 10. It will get us the second occurrence of 2. Reverse method. This method is used to reverse the order of the elements in a list. For example, if you suppose you have a list 435, you can reverse it 534 by just calling the reverse function over this list, and it will reverse the list provided or the list with which you call the reverse function. So here in this example you can see the answer. A list created 45, reverse function called over this list, and then the list generated is having reverse of the original. Sort is used to sort a list in ascending or descending order. By default it sorts the list in the ascending order, but if you provide the flag reverse equals to true, it sorts the list in reverse order, descending. The list method sort is passed with two arguments, those are optional, key and reverse flag. Key can be a function that supplies customized way to sort the list. For example, if you want to sort the list based upon the number of characters in each value. Here in this example, so simply create a list. After creating the list, call sort function. If you write reverse equals to true, this will be sort in the descending order, otherwise list will be sort in ascending order. Now sorting based upon the function that returns the length of the value. Suppose you have a list Ram Lakshman Bharat Shatrughan and you want to sort this list based upon the length of each. So you can call this sort method with the list and pass length function as key. So when this length function is passed, it will sort the list based upon the function. This function is given one by one each values of the list. It determines their length, and so it sorts the list in order of the length, increasing length. So here you can see the result. The length of Ram is lowest, so it is at first position. Then Lakshman and Bharat have both of same length, and Lakshman was occurring early, so it is Lakshman. Bharat, Shatrughan have most number of characters in this list, so it is at last position. This function does not decide based upon the character in the alphabet. It simply decides based upon the length. If same length values are there, then the value that is occurring first in the list will be first. Here Lakshman is before the Bharat in this list, so Lakshman is before the Bharat in the result also. Deletion. We can delete an element from the list in many ways. The first one is using pop method. The pop method, when used, popped out an element from the list. This method can be passed one argument index. When the index is given, that particular value which is at the index provided is deleted from the list. For example, for the list here, you do not pass any of the index in the pop method, and so it deletes last one. When you try to print LST again, you will get this list without 2.5. Now it will have only 5 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you provide index, for example, if you write list1, if you write list dot pop and inside bracket you pass 1, then at position 1 is 4.445, it will be deleted. So we will have the remaining list as 2.33, 5.33, 1.054. Another method to delete an object from a list is use the del keyword. Here, when del keyword is used to delete objects in the Python. The objects can be variables, list, part of the list, or any sequences that are mutable. So here in this example, a list is given and del keyword has been used to delete the list object at position 0. When this is called, you get a list that is deleted with the object 2.3, the value 2.3 that is at the first position in this list, and so you get the list that is not having 2.3. Another method of deletion of any object based upon the value is remove. With this function, you can delete any object by giving the value. For example, you want to delete a character A from a list, then you can give character A. You want to delete a value 3 from a list, you can give value 3. So with this function, you just pass the element you want to delete. So here in this example, a list has been created and remove method has been called with the value 3 passed to it. It removes 3 from the list, and when you print the list again, you get the list without having 3. So it doesn't matter where the value is located, it is deleted from the list. Then you can call clear method that deletes all the element of the list. In the example, a list has been created and list.clear function has been called, so it clears all the deletes all the element of the list. On the bottom side, you can see list having no value. So after studying the list method, there are some built-in functions in Python that can also be applied on the list. We can also call them as list functions. So the first one that we study here is sum. It calculates sum of all the values of a list. But remember, values of the list, that means they should be number. If in a list you have different data types, then you cannot apply sum function. So here in the example, a list has been created, then sum function was called over this list. It adds all the values. It takes sum of the values of the list and so prints 15. Besides this, you can pass a list slice to count. This function is also very useful and it is used to count the occurrence of an element in a list. For example, with this list, if you want to count how many times 1 occurred in this list, you can pass list.count with value 1. It will count total number of occurrence of 1. So in this list, 1 occurs at 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and so you get the answer 4. The last method that we are going to study is len. It is used to calculate length of any sequence, and here it is used with the list. It counts the total number of objects in the list. So a list has been created in the example and the list has been passed inside the list len function. So it gives 10 total number of objects in this list. So we learn list methods and some other built-in functions that can apply to the list, starting from append, that appends one element at the end of the list, insert, that adds one object or value at the desired position in the list. For example, in this list 10,087 have been inserted at 2 position. Extend is used to add more than one value at a time at the end of a list. For example, list 1 have been added with 2, 3, 4, 5, and so list 1 becomes 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Index is used to determine the position of any value. Reverse is used to change the order of the values in a list. Sort is used to sort all the elements in ascending order or descending order. Deletion can be done in three ways. You can delete one element by using pop method. For that, you can provide an index, or if you not provide, the last element is deleted. You can use del keyword to delete any element of the list by providing list name and position of the value. Then remove method can be used to remove any of the elements from the list, and it is passed the element, the value, not index. Clear method is used to delete all the element of a list. Some other functions we also studied. Sum is used to obtain the sum of all elements of the list. Count is used to count the occurrence of an element in the list, and len is used to count total number of elements in the list. Thank you.